The first sign that something was wrong wasn't the cake. It was the text message that buzzed on my phone 10 minutes before we left for my sister-in-law's birthday party. Don't say anything tonight. Please. Just let it go. No context. No explanation. Just that. I stared at the screen while my wife, Lena, stood in front of the mirror adjusting her earrings, her back to me. For a moment, I wondered if the message was meant for someone else. Or maybe I'd done something wrong and forgotten. That happens sometimes. Life gets busy. You miss things. What's this about? I asked, holding up my phone. She glanced at it, barely a second, then waved her hand. Nothing. Family stuff. Just. Please don't start anything. Start what? I wanted to ask. But I didn't. I told myself not everything had to be a fight. Not everything was about me. That was my first mistake. The party was already loud when we arrived. Music, laughter, the smell of sugar and coffee thick in the air. Everyone hugged Lena. Everyone smiled at me. But the smiles didn't quite reach their eyes. I noticed it. But again, I told myself I was overthinking. I'd been doing that a lot lately. Missed calls Lena explained away as bad signal. Her phone always face down. Late-night family emergencies that didn't quite add up. Little things. Small enough to ignore if you wanted peace. We sat around the long dining table. Plates clinking, conversation overlapping. Then my brother-in-law cleared his throat. So, he said casually, since we're all here, maybe we should finally talk about it. The room went quiet. Lena's hand tightened around her fork. Talk about what? I asked. My mother-in-law sighs, the kind of sigh that already assumes you're guilty. About how selfish you've been. I blinked. Excuse me. My sister-in-law laughed, sharp and humorless. Don't act surprised. You know exactly what you did. I looked at Lena. She didn't look back. They started talking all at once, words flying like accusations in a courtroom where I didn't know the charges. Greedy. Egoist. Ungrateful. How I refused to help. How I thought only of myself. That money was for all of us, my mother-in-law snapped. Suddenly, it clicked. The money. Suddenly, it clicked. The money my father left me. The one Lena had said we'd talk about later. The one she'd promised wasn't an issue. I didn't refuse to help, I said, my voice shaking. I said we should plan it together. That it wasn't mine alone to give away without discussion. That's not what you told us, my brother-in-law shot back. I turned to Lena. What did you tell them? Her eyes filled with tears, but she still didn't defend me. I didn't know what else to say, she whispered. They were pressuring me. I didn't want them to hate you. So instead, she let them. That's when the cake hit me. Cold frosting smeared across my shirt. The sickly sweet smell turning my stomach. Gasps filled the room. Someone laughed nervously. I just sat there, stunned, icing dripping onto the floor. In that moment, something inside me cracked. Not anger. Not even humiliation. Clarity. I stood up slowly. My hands were shaking, but my mind was calm in a way it hadn't been in months. You know what hurts the most? I said quietly. Not the insults. Not the cake. It's realizing my wife chose silence over truth. Lena sobbed then, saying she was sorry, saying she felt trapped, saying she never meant for it to go this far. She admitted she'd been telling them things behind my back. Half-truth. Convenient versions of events that made her the peacemaker and me the villain. I believed she felt guilty. I also knew guilt wasn't enough to rebuild trust. I left the party that night alone, frosting still on my sleeve, my phone buzzing with messages I didn't read. Weeks later, I moved out. I still think about the good memories sometimes, the way she used to laugh, the plans we made. But now I see how often I shrank myself to keep the peace. How often I doubted my own instincts. That night didn't just expose a betrayal. It taught me something I should have learned sooner. Love that requires your silence isn't love, it's control. And I'd rather walk away alone than sit at another table where I'm expected to swallow lies just to belong.